Welcome one and all. This is DJ Fresh. I'm here with Queen Regine. I'm here with Queen Regine. Concert Love. I love you, baby. I love you. I love you, baby. I love you. Our resident and our new guest Martin Stoy. He's amazing DJ, and we're gonna tell you all about him. Take it away from me, girl. It's all you.
Hey there,
Here we go.
everybody. This is Queen Regine, and I'm on the scene. I'm here with DJ Dougie Fresh, and the original is the best. And we are here today, and I want to tell everybody, Happy Father's Day. I know Dougie is a father. I know Tim is a father. I know Carl is a father. Martin, you're a father.
Indeed. Yes.
Yeah, Happy Father's Day. Yeah, you guys count. You really count. And all the other fathers, Shaw Black, Dope Chef, Paul Van Nevius III. This is Queen Regine. I'm on the scene, and we are here with the one and only DJ Martin Stoy. And I want to welcome you, and I want to thank you so much. Tim Snyder is here from Art Development, and he's the new kid on the block. How you doing, Tim?
Fantastic, ma'am. How are you?
Are you on a roller coaster over there?
It's 24/7.
Yeah, am I on a roller coaster? That's funny. No, not at all. I just a lot of things going on right now, and I'm glad to be a part of the show and introducing Stoy to.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that chitty chitty bang bang, but you didn't invite us. But anyway, DJ Martin, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. And I wanted to kind of, go behind the scenes with you. And one and only site, bastion of house music. I wanted to kind of take it back as to how you came to Chicago from Bulgaria as opposed to New York. I always wanted to know that. Why not New York? Why Chicago?
Because there's more house in Chicago than New York. No, I'm just joking. No, my parents moved to the States in 91, and so I was like 16, 17. That's how I ended up in Chicago.
Okay. So you ended up in Chicago. So tell me, I'd like to know, always the background. What were your musical influences in your home? Are you from Sofia by any chance? Are you from the capital?
No, I live in the middle of the country, which is called Stara Zagora, and the fifth biggest town in Bulgaria. And
I see. Okay, so I want to get a feeling for your background in music. Did you grow up, and how did you get started? Was there influence? So just give us a little information as to the, music itself.
I mean, what can I say? Maybe my first touch with electronic music was in the beginning of the 90s, 91, 92, with groups like Scooter and Prodigy. Those are some of my pioneers back home in Europe when I started listening to that music, until I moved to the States later on. I discovered many more artists, and that's how I got the bug for house music.
Okay, so who had the most influence on you? Who, under you, as they say?
In general?
Yes.
And there's a lot of people that I've been looking up when I start playing, like some of the major Chicago DJs like Frankie Knuckles, Paul Johnson, Derek Carter. Those are like the people I started with when I started going to raves back in the 1995 when I first came to Chicago.
Oh, I see. So I also, I don't know if people know, but Bulgaria is a place where the music is really known, especially opera music. So that's, there are a lot of opera singers come out of Bulgaria. So music. For those who may not know Bulgaria very well, I have a favorite. Her name is Jenna Dimitrova. Are you familiar with her?
What's her name? I couldn't. I'm sorry, breaking up. I can't hear anything.
Gena Dimitrova.
I heard her. Yes, I heard that name.
Yeah, she made her debut in New York City, Carnegie Hall. So she kind of paved the way
Upper.
for you. So what I'd like to find out, I know you ended up in Chicago. Who was one of the first DJs that you saw live came to Chicago?
Probably Paul Johnson.
Oh, okay. Paul Johnson. Yes, we know him. He's
Pretty
getting down,
get
down,
down,
down.
down, down, down. That's how I started. Down, down.
Yeah, we know Paul Johnson. Can you hear me?
Right now, yeah, but you were cutting off half of the time.
I'll try to get closer then. Maybe it's the reception or something like that. And then when you started, back in the 90s, tell us how you progressed from for other DJs out there for the technical aspect. Uh, Started more than likely on your Technics, right?
Actually, my first turntables, by the way, were Gemini 500 belt drive, and I had no idea between direct drive and belt drive. I just was playing with friends' turntables, and I was excited that it's only $500, brand new turntables with a mixer, and I started trying to do my thing. But I mean, I wasn't doing much at that time, but didn't really work out pretty well until a friend of mine came and he's like, "Man, get the techniques. Don't waste your time with those cheap turntables because they're belt drive." I'm like, "What do you mean belt drive? I have no idea what you're talking about." So he pulled the plate, he showed me the little belt, and then we went to his house. He took the plate out of his Technics and he's like, "You see, direct, you see, belt." I'm like, "Okay, I got it. I'm stuck now."
Yeah, yeah. Because the 1200 is the standard. Even now, without 1200s are like the Mercedes Benz of.
I know. I had them since I remember myself. Then in 2000, I bought my first pair of Technics.
They're in high demand now. I know you started uh, doing working in clubs, and you worked in the club Enigma, and then you worked in many clubs, the Boom Boom Room. You worked in several clubs. So tell us about getting into the clubs. How did you know, you got here, and then there's always a process. How did you get into the clubs? What was that like? What was the process?
I mean, like I was doing like as a beginning DJ, like house parties, basement parties, then start getting to know some people from the clubs, and that's little by little they came to some of my parties, they invited me to some of their parties, and some of them liked the way I play, and that's how I got set up with some of the nightclubs. And one of my first residency was a very famous club here in Chicago. It was like a gay, lesbian, normal night on Sunday. It's called Boom Boom Room, which was a very famous night, and I'm very happy that I had a chance to be a resident there for 2 years before they closed down. I think the place was open like for 15 or 20 years, almost one of the longest running nights in Chicago.
Okay, and you also were in Vision. What is it? Zentron? Was that one of the clubs there?
Yeah, back in the days, Central was in Chicago, which is a history right now. There's not that many clubs left from 15, 20 years ago when I first started till now.
Oh, okay. And then some of your influences. I know it's also not only Paul Johnson, but there was Derek Carter. Tell me about how he had an influence on you in your life. This DJ, this famous DJ.
I mean, I'm pretty good friends with both of them, and like actually get to know them from parties. And with the time when I became a DJ, I was so excited when I get booked with them. And even though I know them for over 10 years, every time I get to play with them, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm playing with Paul Johnson or Derek Carter." It's like, wow, still for me.
Okay. With and then playing in the clubs. Now, there was a transitional period. So, you remember the time when especially in New York, we used to go to Satellite and shop for records. We used
Oh,
to go to
yes.
we
Yes, I
used to
went
go
to a.
find your material at that time.
I used
Some of your favorite.
I mean, there's a very famous place in Chicago called Gramophone Records. That's how I used to go. Like maybe used to spend like monthly, like around $200 to $300 on vinyl. That's till 2008. We used to buy like 20 to 40 records a month just to stay on the top of my game, and it was so much fun back then. Like, oh man, fresh vinyl. I'm so, I got the hottest stuff right now. Can't wait to go to a club or go to a party and throw down some of the tracks I just bought.
Yeah, I mean, I see the passion. It's so different because along with DJ Dougie Fresh, I mean, he's been in the game longer than me, but I was a promoter of underground DJ, so I remember that feeling of going to the other side, to going to Satellite on the Bowery, to going to the Tower Records, to going to Virgin Records, and just that of the next vinyl coming out, the next song coming out. So
Yes.
So now, when I saw you in the Sky Bar, when I saw you in Enigma, you had the turntables, and then by the time we got up to the Sky Bar, you got your laptop, you got your controller. So tell me about that transition. How did you embrace that transition, and what did you really feel about that transition at the time?
I mean, what can I say? Maybe around 2008, I started giving up on vinyl because I ended up going to a few clubs with two big crates of records. Like, you bring your own music and either your DJ bag or you go with the crates. And I go to the club and they're like, by the way, we're just on CDJs. We don't have turntables. I'm like, how do you want me to play? Sorry, bro, but you gotta move to CDJs these days. I'm like, okay, so. During that period around 2008, I had the turntables, but CD players were pretty expensive, and I had a friend of mine that was very familiar with software and DJing. I'm like, hey, what should I do? Because that's way too much money for me to buy CDJs. What about Tractor or Serato? He's like, go with a Tractor, and that's how I started doing Tractor vinyl at home. Or if the club has turntables, I prefer to do Tractor vinyl, but if they don't, I do Tractor CDJs. I don't do controllers because, I don't know, I do have two controllers, but it's not fun for me to do controllers. I prefer CDJs in vinyl mode, or if I have a chance to be on turntables. I started DJing on tables, not on CD players or controllers. These days, everybody can be a DJ within 5 minutes, a controller in software, but that's not the point.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the jump from the art of DJing, the art, and then jumping into the technology? How do you feel that really affected the artist?
I mean,
your mind. What do you think about that?
I mean, depends what you want to do. There's many good and positive and bad side. Like some of maybe like Dougie, like me. I don't say I'm like an old school DJ, but I start on turntables and like sometimes people are like, oh, look at this guy, man, just press the button. But it's not just pressing the button. There's much more to put the things together, make them work. And yeah, that's a big plus with the digital technology and something that is like on the top of your fingers, and you can just put it right away instead of digging to a record, to a crate and looking for vinyl. You just type the name and boom, it's in front of your eyes. Depends what you do and how you want to present yourself, and that's how you choose vinyl, CDJs, digital, non-digital, or just all together at once.
And I see your influences. A lot of them were, came from the soul background. They came from the genre of house, the gospel, the soul. So you became a tech house DJ. How did you take that music and then into tech? How did that affect you, and why did you choose to be like more of a tech house DJ?
I mean, I basically, when I first started playing, I really didn't like house. I was kind of liking mostly techno and drum and bass, and that's how I started. But with the time, you go to a rave and it's like house, techno, or drum and bass room. I almost never went to the house room, and I'm like, man, I don't like that stuff. It's kind of, but with the time, I'm like, man, this is something like, and just got to me. Just took over me, and that's how I became a house DJ, and with the time I just progressed to tech house because it's more like uplifting, more moving for me. But I'd go either way. Depends on the venue. Depends on the night. I can be more like a tribal. I can be more deep. I can be more techy. So I go in between. Depends on the atmosphere and the people on the dance floor.
Okay. Um, yeah, because tech is very specific. And really, tech is kind of more Detroit. You think of when you think of tech, you think Detroit, you think Berlin, and then when you think of soulful house, you think of Chicago. Chi-town. Although they do have tech, but I think of soul when I think of Chicago for some
You're
reason.
right. You're right. But with the time, people like kind of wanted to start listening to new stuff. The soul felt like kind of slow for most of the people in the nightclubs that I've been playing. That's how I'm like, let's get moving, guys. Get a little bit more techy stuff inside the deep
Oh,
house
okay.
or the soulful house, and that's how I kind of switch the styles here and there. Depends on the night, like I said.
Now, let's switch to some fun. What's your wildest story in the DJ booth? I know every DJ, you know. Oh, he didn't want to give us a wild story. Martin, where are you? Call him back. He lost us. Can you call him, Dougie?
There we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Something
No, you're
happened. I
fine.
lost you guys.
Oh, that must have been a really secret story.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
happens. That's not the first time the power turns off when I start playing or when I was talking. It's just Martin Stoy DJ course. I get you. Now I
So
got you.
give us one of those stories. You can always change the names. You know what I mean?
And like at least twice happened to me. Like during my set, the power just went down, and that
Oh
was
wow.
like one of those things was like a couple years ago playing in Brighton, UK during Halloween, October 31st. Like maybe the 15 or 18 minute of my set, just the power went down and everybody started like, yeah, 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 yeah. So I just pulled my phone and put some music on until they started the power. And everybody's like, yeah, just quiet. We cannot hear the music until the power goes on from his cell phone. That's like maybe one of my funniest DJ story in the DJ booth.
Yeah, well, that's like death to a DJ, but it happens to everybody. And if you're a real professional, you just get back in it and keep going, right?
Oh yeah, I mean it's not the first time, but you're just like, man, why not the guy before me and next after me? Why always during my set happens?
Um, I want to know from you, what would you be doing if had you what would you have done?
Can you repeat? I'm sorry, cutting off. I couldn't hear anything. What would I be doing if I wasn't DJing right now?
I said, what would you have done if you had not chosen the path of a DJ?
Oh, that's a hard question to answer. Who knows? Maybe a spaceman.
Oh, okay, going to the moon.
Yeah, I'm there every day.
Pray tell, how do you go there to the moon?
I don't know yet, but as soon as I get there, I'll let you guys know.
Okay, well, I see you really have a passion. This is not an easy field, it's especially we're in, this situation we're in. But you really have to love this genre. You really have to love this profession. So I know you had original remix always, and what struck me about it, it had a little bit of everything. I was very into the claps, the special effects, the synth. Also, I could taste a little trance within that song always. So, tell us how this original mix came about, and tell us what was the modus operandi behind it.
I mean, that mix happened like a couple years ago between a few very close friends of mine, Chris Robert and Bucky Fargo. So one day we're just like hanging and messing around on Chris like because Chris had the label. Hey guys, wanna get together and make something? And I'm like, oh, I want this sound, and my other guy want this sound, and Chris I want this sound. So we try to make everybody happy and combine all those sounds because we all have like a different backgrounds between three of us, and that's how that track happened. Always, as
Now,
always.
now for us DJs out there, what kind of software are you using? Were you using Logic, Ableton? What are you using?
I mean, I've been kind of learning to do Logic, but the always is done on Ableton because Chris Roberts is the guy behind Ableton who was more familiar and already been using it for more than 10, 15 songs that he has released.
Okay, in this particular song with Always, did you all use live instruments? Did you use plugins? Did you
It's all
did you basically just use what was available in Ableton Live?
pretty much what was available on Ableton Live plus some plugins, and everything was done digitally. There was no instruments playing on a side.
Okay, all right. And also I looked at this song, and it's amazing what can be done with technology because you had a remix. I think his name was Badia, and he did a remix, and I tell you, it sounded totally different because it had a lot of vocals in it, and it also had more of a fading and a smoother, um, like a I want to say the distortions on the voice, and it also had like a on the drums. So and your sounded great, but it's just amazing what technology can do.
Excuse me, we were cutting off about the second song you were talking about. That
No,
we're gonna
I was
play.
talking about the remix for with Badea. There's a Badea remix of your song Always,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, and it's the vocals had more vocals on that one. That remix was distorted vocals. It had a lower register, and it also had a compression on the drum that was totally what you had. So with technology, I mean, it sounded like a totally different song. It was good as well, but it just
Yeah, that's a remix by a good friend of Chris Robert. His name is Julian Bate, who did the remix, and this is completely different project that he just used our song as a base and he built and did his magic on the top of our song. That's why it's a remix of the original always.
oh, okay. And then you have this other song called "Where I Belong," and
Yes.
it's more of a club. It's more of a club mix. So give me some information about this song. This song is fantastic.
I mean, like, I've been trying to produce under my name, but 2 years ago, with a good friend of mine, DJ Lee, we established this duo called Audio Stash between Martin Stoy and my really good friend DJ Lee from Vegas. And this is actually one of our first releases, Where I Belong, which is under the G High Records, which is owned by Richard Gray. He's a very good friend of ours that helped us put that song out. And I do have a couple more projects under Audio Stash, but we're still working on trying to perfect them so we can put them out there and hopefully get some goals and people are happy with our vibe and the music we try to present.
Now with this pandemic, a lot of us are able to work on a lot of projects that we probably would not have had time for. So, what are you doing in the studio? What are you
I mean, basically, been doing some streaming since the whole pandemic started. I've been using this program called OBS Studio. I'm not sure if you guys familiar. It's mostly for video streaming, gaming, kind of like live DJ. And to be honest, been just exploring the programs because there's so many other features you can do during the time you're playing. You can have crazy backgrounds. You can have chat. So that's what I'm kind of playing. I'm trying to produce on a site in my free time with my friend, even though he's in Vegas, I'm in Chicago. It's not that big of a time difference, but just his time and my time. We try to put things
Hey,
together to make it.
collaboration.
Exactly.
Now, your career as a DJ, did you travel around the United States mostly, or did you go back and forth to Europe? Did you come to New York? What was your pattern?
I mean, I have mostly played over the city of Chicago, major nightclubs. I have done also Avalon, Los Angeles, in New York a few times. I've been in Vegas many times. In Florida, I have been during the conference. I play a few times in Mexico, and majority of times I've been in Europe over the summer. The past 10, 15 years, almost once or twice a year, I get to go to Europe and play at least 5 to 10 gigs in my country when I'm there, or some other countries around me, like UK.
So, fast forward to now, what do you think about uh, this EDM? This moving into more of the commercial aspect of house music. What is your take on it?
Oh, I mean, I can consider myself as an old cat, and I don't mind it's all electronic music, but I prefer more on the real underground, the stuff that like me and you and Dig and Tommy love to listen. Like we're old cats, old house men.
Hey,
Yeah.
I listen to everything because of the fact that I'm stuck playing everything.
I mean, listen,
I
there's
love
music for
my house
everybody.
though. I'm a house cat always.
So do I.
Yeah,
Shy
definitely a
down.
house head, man, for sure.
Meow. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just not my type of a music. Like, I don't care. I had offers. Hey, like, let's say I had offers for wedding or some private birthday parties. Hey, they were paying me really good money, but I'm like, guys, I just don't. Not I don't appreciate, but it's not my style. And if it's not my style, it's not like I cannot make it happen. But when you have the passion compared to just doing it on a side, I don't want to give you a negative vibe about me DJing because if it's not house, don't count me.
Well, well, to me,
That's how
it's not
that I am.
negative. Well, to me, it's not negative because, I was at the Winter Music Conference last year, and I was sitting in a conference with um, David Guetta and Carl Cox and Nicole Madaba, and I was sitting in that conference, and um, David Guetta himself, he really kind of uh, convoluted way, he expressed a lot of regret for moving into that really, because I will be.
We can't hear you, Queen.
I think can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I can.
Oh, okay. But when I was sitting there with David Guetta, um, he he said himself, he started to lose himself and in that commercial world. And he wanted to get back to basics because the same people that you grew up on and you liked in Chicago and all these different people, especially in the United States, and all the soul singers and all the pop singers, that's what he really liked was the soul house music. And he had gotten so far away from it that he began to lose himself, even with all the money he was making.
I
So
know.
and
It's
so
hard to
now,
turn down the money, I'm telling you.
Yeah, sometimes it's the transition, sometimes it's the money,
but
but
what he said, I was
once you're big,
sitting
you
there.
don't care. You can do anything you want to.
Yeah, I was sitting there right in his face. I could literally touch him. I was on the front row. So he said that he wanted to get the basics because he didn't need the money. He didn't need the money.
Here's the
But
name, but
sometimes you get seduced by the power, of being with these
Yep.
really famous people, and
Yeah,
then
you
the
always
money
get seduced by the power.
seduced by the power. So now he's doing his thing is to do small venues now, And his new name is called. He's not going to do it under David Guetta. He's going to do it on a Jacket's back.
Oh, wow.
So
Good for him.
going to do it under. So Martin Stoy, I applaud you for really staying true to your passion. It's very do so.
Thank you.
Say that again. Say that
I
again.
said it's very when people are waving millions of dollars in front of you, to turn it down after a certain point. And I think he was really apologizing, sort of, to the house industry. He had many, and he also has a documentary about played it while we were, that's very admirable to say that you really love.
No, I mean, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes.
you. You're great.
Oh, for example, like, I don't know, maybe it was 7, 8 years ago, me and a friend of mine were doing an after party that starts at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then like around 5 o'clock, the Chicago club's closed, and a friend of mine is like, "Hey, Fidel Grant is at the Mid. He wants to come on. Can he play at your party?" I'm like, "Of course he can play at my party. Fidel Grant, it's like a $10,000 DJ." So the guy comes, he meets me, he's like, "Hey, Martin, do you mind if I throw a couple of tracks?" But he usually play progressive trance stuff. I'm like, "But listen, I don't play what you usually play." He's like, "I want to play underground. I don't want to play my stuff." And that's like a $10,000 DJ that just tell me, "Hey man, I want to play at your party underground. I don't want to play trance and progressive." I'm like, wow. I'm like, "Go ahead, play as much as you want to. Be my guest, Fidel."
Wow, that's admirable, and you still can go far doing the things that you want to do, how you want to do it. So we always have to keep those things in mind. But I know you started your company, Foreign Power Entertainment.
Say again, Queen.
I said, tell us about your producer and a businessman as well, not just a DJ. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
About Foreign Power Music, actually, the idea just came to my head as long time ago, maybe 15 years ago, and it's not number 4N, and it's like a foreign, like, like when you want to say foreign, he's a foreigner, a foreign. That's how we pronounce the company name. Foreign Power.
Oh,
It's like, for you, instead of having four FOR, you just write number 4 and you, and you read it as for you. This is how my company name is written, foreign. That's why it has the number 4 and the N. So foreign is the right pronunciation of the company name, Foreign Power Music, which is me, myself.
Hey,
well,
that works.
that's fantastic. Well, we're going to play some of your music, but I wanted to know if do you want to shout out to anybody out there in radio land?
I mean, I want to shout out to everybody that loves house music, especially to you guys, Carol, Timothy, Queen, Davey, for bringing me on your show and taking care of me, guys. Appreciate it. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers and the future fathers.
Absolutely.
And Tim, what do you have to say? You got some. Tim is our A&R development. He's the new kid on the block. So
I am, yes, indeed. New kid for sure. Martin, I just appreciate guys like you on the underground scene and our friendship for many years back in the city and of the Shy, and just keep the art going. We certainly appreciate, even international guys doing their thing and working on their craft and developing their art and growing as an individual musically. Thank you for being a part of this, Queen of Regime. Appreciate it, and Dougie Fresh always, man. We got a nice little future ahead of us.
Oh, can't wait to see who we bring next week. Martin is also going to be doing Deep Love tomorrow.
Yay,
Yeah.
Martin.
So it'll be quick. It'll be quick. It'll be real quick with Martin and Tim tomorrow as we play his other tracks, and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. DJ Martin Stoy, You're amazing. Keep on
Thank you,
doing your
guys.
thing. I've been listening to your stuff, and that's what you hear in the background. That's coming up is your stuff. Check them out on SoundCloud. Where do they find you on SoundCloud, Martin Stoy?
Well,
Just
Martin
look
is
for a book.
also on TrackSource, Beatport, Spotify, SoundCloud. He's on those platforms as well.
Yeah, yes, just type my name, Martin, Martin, together, Stoy, Stoy, Martin Stoy. And that's how I'm gonna pop up on YouTube, SoundCloud, in your house, in your system, in your car, in your bed, at your table.
Turn it up.
Turn it around. Get
Okay,
the vibe
this is
on.
this is a PG show, Mark.
No, it's not. This is on YouTube. It's live. They know you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, Martin Story, thank you so much. We salute you, and we're glad to have you. And it's been a pleasure to interview somebody who's a veteran in the field, especially out of Chi-Town.
Thank you very
Long,
much.
we really appreciate that, and we really cherish you because not many DJs like you left.
And if you love it, you'll do it.
Well, Martin, I love having you on the show. We had you last week on Deep Love, and it was a nice set. A lot of good comments that came in about the set.
Thank you.
And no, that's no longer available on YouTube. Uh, Only this one is, and tomorrow's is. So come back, check us out with Tim Snyder and Martin Stoy tomorrow as he plays Deep Love. And we'll do it, baby. This is
Thank you.
triplevibes.com. This is House of Love. We got you, baby.
Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
pump the music. I want to hear the music. Pump it up. What are you doing?
That's my other kind of a club style mix.
Turn it, pump it up. Okay, thank you guys. I'm signing off. This is Queen Regina, and I'm on the scene here with DJ Dougie Fresh. The original is the best. We'll see you next week with House of Love.
You take care, girl. We love you.
Yeah, appreciate
Love
it,
you all, guys.
Queen
Appreciate it.
Jean.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, girl. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, so you ever
Are we done here?
what's up? Hey, are we still live?
You want me to eat?
No.
Yeah, we were here. Yeah.
Someone deserves, another one gets. Always when you're alone, someone lost and someone found. The demons in your head. After all,
What is all this I keep waiting?
everyone's on the run. After all, everyone's on their own.
House of Love at triplevibes.com.
Introducing DJ Baby Fresh, by Van Music the Third, and the Church Baptist Church, Church Baptist Church, Church Baptist Church.
Martin, this sounds great, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It was good, baby. It was good.
Thank you. Are we still live, guys?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I like it. You have nice style, nice movement from beat to beat.
Yeah, that dude. No, yeah, I'm part of it.
I know. You're
Yeah, Martin, that was awesome, man. Dougie Fresh, what's happening? That was a good interview, man. What do you think?
Oh, it was good. It was good. It was good.
Thank you. My headphones just cut off.
Your headphones.
My other headphones.
Right. Yeah, Martin, man. We'll do this tomorrow.
You're listening to TripleVibes.com. DJ Dougie Fresh, baby. I got you. I got you. We're here with DJ Martin Stoy. Live.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, Martin. We'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, Dougie.
Thank you.
Take care, Martin. Take care. Take care, Tim. We got you, baby.
Vinegar. Yeah, did you do that apple cider?
Are we still on air? Or are we done?
Yes, we're still on the air.
Okay.
I like the turntable background. It's evil, right?
Right there. My baby's behind me.
Oh, yeah, I have a green screen behind this.
I do have a green wall that I'm using for my OBS as a green screen, and it's turning pretty well.
I'm so used to the green screen, it's hard when you do Skype to not do green screen. But I'm loving this mix, man. I'm loving it.
Get you moving.
I'll DJ with you anytime. Let me know, baby. I'll
Appreciate.
fly in. We just do it.
I mean, thank you again for having me, guys. Boom. Backflip.
I love this. I love this. This is nice.
So that's why I do my mixes only live because I don't do no studio editing. That's bogus.
You're listening to TripleBobs.com. DJ Dougie Fresh. This is Martin Stoy. He's burning up our turntables. Oh, yes. DJ Martin Stoy on the House of Love. I got you, baby. I got you. He was tearing it up. I love it. I love it. I love it. Bulgaria, baby. All my boys from Bulgaria to one of my really good friends, Lena. I love you so much. She's from Bulgaria. She was the one who introduced me to Bulgarian music. I love her to death. Keep rocking, baby.
Tuck, 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 tuck. Back and forth. All right, Dougie, one more time, thank you very much. Thank Triple Vibes Radio for having me on live today. And I'll see you soon, guys.
I'll
Stay
see you
positive.
tomorrow, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming through.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
listening to TripleVibes.com, DJ Duck Express. Here's Martin Stoy. He was playing his butt off.